Hello, everybody. How are you? This is the show The Veil. The View from Beyond is a captivating spiritual show that explores the mysteries of the afterlife, paranormal encounters, and divine messages from beyond. Guided by spiritual experiences, each episode unveils personal stories, supernatural phenomena, and hidden truths about the unseen world, with a mix of real-life testimonials, investigative journeys, and thought-provoking discussion. The Veil offers a profound glimpse into what lies beyond, challenging perceptions of life, death, and spirit realm. I am Kate, and this is
Rebecca.
Yeah, and Leah.
Hi.
Hello to you all today. I just want to take a quick second again, since this is only our second episode, and have you each introduce yourself and just a little bit about your background or your specialties. We'll start with Rebecca.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Kastl. I had a spiritual experience that was like a near-death experience that lasted for 2 years, when I was 26 to 28. And so that experience, and after integrating it, I now offer, I call them sacred soul sessions now, and they're like a blend of angel readings with healing and coaching mixed together, guided by source, by spirit. My spiritual experience, I saw a light and felt angels and saw timelines of my life and started having psychic dreams, and it was all out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere. I was writing in my journal and I accidentally devoted my life to God in my journal, and then everything changed. I didn't think it was possible. Anyway, so I spent make a long story short, it ended in 2008, and I spent 15 years deciding it was real and that I could talk about it, and I started sharing about it in 2023. So in fact, when I met Leah and Kate, studying with Suzanne Giesman, they didn't know this about me. I still wasn't talking about it. So anyway, now I am, and we're still all friends, thankfully. They didn't judge me. They were very accepting. And that's me. Nice to meet you. Leah, you want to go?
Awesome, Rebecca. My name is Leah, and I'm a psychic medium. And I came out of the medium closet probably about 8 years ago to friends. But I still kept it quiet because it just felt like it was a little too woo-woo, and I wasn't sure what I was experiencing was real even. But looking back, it really all was real, and it's a pretty amazing journey and world, and I'm really glad to be here with you too. It's been great.
Excellent. And I am Kate, and I had what I call a near God experience, an NGE, in 2020 that woke me up to this whole spiritual realm. And I would say that I'm still discovering. I dabble a little bit in the mediumship. I also love to do tarot readings, and I'm just fascinated by everything that is spiritual. Which brings me to the topic tonight that I wanted to discuss, was about dreams. How do you use dreams, or if you do use dreams, in a spiritual way? What can you derive from them? Do you specifically intend to have certain dreams? I mean, there's a whole gamut we can go with. But Rebecca, I'd like to start with you and just tell me, do you purposefully intend to have messages or have encounters in your dreams? And what do you think the dream world is for us? What's the purpose?
Great question, Kate. I'm so excited about this topic. So y'all know I was raised by a psychologist, my mom, and so I was raised to only analyze dreams in a Freudian type of way.
Oh, wow.
Like every dream's a reflection of you, and I didn't have psychic dreams. And then as soon as my spiritual experience started, when I was 26, I started having psychic dreams with guidance that week, and it was like a very big shift for me. And I do believe now. We all meet in the astral plane in our dreams. So I have a lot of psychic dreams about my friends where we're together in the dream and they're telling me something. And then when I talk to them, it turns out to be true. And it was like a really weird thing for that to start happening. And I'd be like, oh yeah, you told me that in my dream. And they'd be like, what? Like, but it would be like a real thing. Like, I just remember one of the first ones, like I saw a friend of mine, it was like an acquaintance, but we're in a cafe and he's like speaking Russian to me. And I'm like, and he's telling me he has a Russian girlfriend. And then I wake up and I'm like, I got to check in on this friend. Like, I haven't seen him in a while. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm dating this Russian girl. I'm learning Russian, like just random
Wow.
stuff, very sweet things. Um, but to answer the question about guidance, so I do pray for guidance in my dreams when I have a big question. Usually it's about relationships or my spiritual path. I learned this from my stepdad, who during my 20s, my mom was married to my amazing stepdad. We were super close. He actually showed up in a reading with Leah. But he was an indigenous tribal elder who had the medicine tradition, which he guided me a lot. It was very, very private, but he would pray for guidance in his dreams. And it was like a big thing. If he prayed for guidance and he got guidance for you, like you listened to it. I didn't always listen. I wasn't that good of a kid. I mean, I was in my 20s, so I didn't know what any of it meant. But now I do that. And I pray for guidance. So I've prayed for guidance about my spiritual journey. I've prayed for guidance, usually just about relationships. I got guidance to end my marriage actually in a dream. I mean, I was already having this guidance in real life, but I got major confirmation that it was the right choice for me, because I wasn't going to take such a big choice without the right spiritual guidance. So,
So
it wasn't, yeah. What were you going to say? Sorry.
can I ask you a question? So when you make your intention, does it happen that night, or does it sometimes take a while? And how do you know when to let go or move on to something else?
That's a really good question. Usually it does happen that night or the next couple nights, and it's not always, I think it has to be a good question, because sometimes I pray for guidance and I don't get a dream, and I don't know if it's just because I'm too busy, but I think it usually is about that night. But I remember, yeah, I think I've read some people don't need dreams as much, and I think for people like me, I do need the dreams sometimes, because it is not in the conscious world, and I can get better wisdom than just living my life. I don't know. I want to hear what y'all think, because I heard Suzanne say, oh, eventually you don't want it to come in dreams. You just want to get that wisdom. But I think I need the dreams. No.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make a comment about you said I make the intention and then I don't get anything for a while. And what I've learned is when you do make intentions, or when you try to connect for an answer outside of dreams and you don't get any, there you go, and you don't get any, it's because that's part of something that you need to learn. So you're not going to get the guidance, although I'm going to call them team, your
Yeah.
spirit guides and stuff are around you, helping you.
Thanks,
But
Leah.
it's up to you to come to the conclusions and to get to your life lesson.
Without a dream. Because I was like, I guess I'm asking a bad question, or they're not helping me. But it's
No,
like,
it's because you have to figure that out. So they can help us
yeah.
a lot, but I think when it's really important, because you can't change anyone, and you have to learn your lessons yourself in order to have them stick. And so that's about the journey of learning your lesson, at least
Yeah.
in my view.
That's cool. I love that. Yeah. Thank you. I've gotten great guidance about religion, what religion to be.
Oh, cool.
It was actually that it was all cool, whatever I did, as long as I was kind. That was the dream.
Ooh, I love
Right.
that.
Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, I've got dreams about relationships and religion, but nothing else.
Oh, remember when you asked and I had the dream about you with the sparkles?
Yeah. Oh,
Right back. So
that's like my
that was
stepdad. I have
guidance from someone else, but
dreams for other
you just
people.
needed to hear it.
And it was very healing. That dream was so
Yeah,
healing.
that was cool.
Yeah. Leah, tell us about your dream life, because your dream life is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I that's what I wouldn't say. You don't need the dreams because I love them. I get so much from them. It wasn't until so I had a lot of dreams when I was a kid. So one of the things that's really funny is I loved horses and I loved horseback riding. And so I used to go to sleep with the intention of I want to ride a horse tonight. And I would get dreams of flying. And then sometimes I couldn't fly. So I would say, if I'm going to fly, I really want to. And so I got really good at manipulating my dreams and I'd horseback ride for a couple hours and then and then fly. And I was with my dad when he passed, and we were flying over this city that was somewhere. Really, really cool stuff. So I think the intentions work when they're supposed to. And you can kind of dream and find another dream, kind of do your thing. So it is like an alternate reality, you know?
Yeah.
Really cool. But I want to say, like, the first time I realized things were different and it wasn't just a horseback ride or something, was after my dad passed. I was absolutely crushed, beyond crushed. I was the last kid of 7, so daddy's little girl, and my whole life was really ruined. It took 50 years to kind of get through all the healing just from that one thing, because my safety was gone, everything was gone, right? But funny, I brought in the horses, right? So a few months after my dad died, my friend asked me to go horseback riding. And I went for a day, and then she said, "Do you want to come back tomorrow?" And I said, "Yes." And that evening, I had a dream of falling, and my dad was there. And my dad was in my house, and he had his hand on his chin and a big bandage, and he kept rocking back and forth like he was trying to tell me something. And I was just so blown away. He was in my dream. I started crying, and he just kept holding his chin. So fast forward to the next day, I went horseback riding, and I had woken up with the sense of, wow, I really think I saw my dad. Like, he was there, you know. Hence, I saw him in heaven after that as well. Like, Jesus brought me there to talk to him. And
Wow.
I fell off the horse the next day,
Oh my
and I
gosh.
got trampled, and he took his hoof right across my chin,
Oh
and I
my
ended up
gosh.
with
Yeah.
a big, huge bandage on my face. And it wasn't until after that I realized, wait a minute, these things have substance. Like, these things I've been dreaming have substance, and this is really cool. And
Wow.
you know, I remember getting into my 20s and telling my girlfriend about the dream about meeting my dad in heaven, and I was so mad he left. But I hugged him, and Jesus was there. I think it was Jesus anyway. But I felt his skin and everything. And then they said he had to go back in the room, and they stuck him in this room and closed these doors. And I was outside of the door, like pounding on the door, screaming. And whoever was next to me said, "It's time to go back. You know, it's time to go back." And I remember screaming, "No." And I fell backwards. And it was my first dream that I actually like fell and woke up in my bed with a slam.
Wow.
Wow. You really were in the astral plane.
I was, and I remember going into my mom's room and just saying, "Mom, I just saw Dad. I just saw Dad." And I was like bawling. And she's like, "It's okay, dear. Go,
Oh,
go back to sleep." And I was like, "No, he was really
it
there."
was real. Oh
So it
my
was
God.
like they were telling me it's okay. Here he is. And so that was my first real experience of that. And I've had, you know, thousands more,
You're
but it was so comforting.
so beautiful,
Yeah.
powerful. I've met my stepmom on the other side in a dream. But here's my question. And then, Kate, I really want to hear about your dreams. I know you, but hey, you had the dream about the horse, and I've had several dreams about like a car accident and getting carbon monoxide poisoning before it happened. And I'm like, how are we supposed to know? Like, were you supposed to not go on the horse, or was your dad just letting you know that this was going to happen? Like, it's like we couldn't have stopped it. Like, I didn't know when these things were going to happen. Is it just like letting us know in a loving way to like prepare our souls for what's going to come? Because I don't think there's like a way to stop. I don't think it's like a
I don't know
hey,
about, yeah,
yeah,
I don't know about stopping it if
yeah,
um like, but there was no way at that point when I was connected to him in that way that I knew what was going on.
right, same. That's how mine
Right?
worked.
So now I have a better handle. So now I have a dream and it's very visceral and very real. I already know, like, okay, I watched my uncle watch my cousin get married, and I called
Oh,
her to tell her he was behind a rock outside, blah, blah, blah.
mm,
And that's exactly where she got married, somewhere in Kentucky, and I had no clue,
wow,
you
that is
know?
so beautiful. I love it.
So you're better prepared, so you're getting the guidance, I think. So I don't know about stopping things.
I know, same. I don't, I guess we're not supposed to because I never knew when those things were going to happen. And it was like, it's just like letting you know this is coming down. But I went on a podcast with Father Nathan and he was like, before we recorded, he was like, I want you to talk about free will and psychic dreams. Like, where does free will fit into these dreams? And we forgot to talk about it, but I've been wondering ever since what people think about it.
Wow, cool. I think of like the feelings in dreams are so important.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when you have a dream of a visitation dream of someone in your life, and you feel really good, even if they're showing you something like, yeah, I fell off the horse and I got trampled, but I was okay.
Yeah.
I think my dad on the other side already knew it happened and he was worried about me.
It's wild that this stuff was coming down the pipeline already, and they
Yeah.
know. And then, okay, as before, I'm really going to stop talking in a sec, Kate. I really want to hear
No,
about your
it's
dream.
okay. It's
But I
okay.
had this, it's like the timing in dreams is really hard because last year, literally spring 2024, last year, I had a beautiful dream of one of my close guy friends that he met his wife. And I woke up and he was like so happy. He was like, in the dream, he's like, my wife is on her way. And like, he stood up and stared at her. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to text him. He's going to meet his wife like tomorrow. And I texted him that. And I don't think he's met her yet. And I'm like, the timing is also very weird. I like, maybe I should never have told him but it was such a real dream. I'm like waiting for him to meet her. But if he hasn't told me. Anyway,
But don't forget, there's no time on the other side.
I know that's why you're right. And it's so confusing because it all seems like right now. It's like a soul thing that's happening. Yeah.
I dreamt this, dream of people passing prior, and I find that it's now because it's so constant, it's within 6 months.
6 months.
But
Okay.
I did have a dream about 4 months ago of someone in my family, so nothing's happened, so yay. So
Okay.
now I wonder if that's even going to be a thing, or it was just him and I talking up there with a bunch of friends who had already passed, you know?
Well, Leah, so what do you do if you have a dream about someone that you
No, I
know
don't
who
tell
passed?
them that because I don't think that's fair. I think
No.
it's like spirit just trying to prepare me.
Wow, Leah, that's a heavy burden.
Yeah. Well, it's also a reminder to, I'm going to say it, we are the world, but it's a reminder to grab every second with every person, be totally present and be your best self, like love that other person more than anything because really we never know. Like look at Kelly, like we never knew that that would be the
Oh,
last time, right? And it's the same
I
for
know.
every person, every single one of us. Like nobody gets a free pass out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
true.
you have to really grab those moments and enjoy them.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's powerful.
Yeah.
So I want
Kate.
to ask one question to kind of clarify too from each of you. What when you say pay attention to the feeling of the dream, so how would you explain to the lay person, only meaning that we've just had few more experiences, how would you explain it to the lay person the difference between a dream and like a visitation dream, because that seems to be the most common, or a psychic dream? What is it that makes you go, oh, that was a visitation?
That's a really good question. I feel like my visitation dreams, like I had this huge dream with an angel that I thought was a real person. Felt like full of light. It felt totally loving and it was very bright. And I think that's what my stepdad would call them. Like I still have regular normal dreams where I'm
Mm-hmm.
blowing off stress. I had one last night. But, but I think, but when it's a dream that's going to happen, or like it's a visitation or it's guidance, it just seems so much brighter and it seems like more real. I don't know, Leah, what would you
Mm.
say?
Real. Yeah, that's what I would say. So like you can actually, it's like us three speaking, you
Yeah.
know, speaking. I mean, I had a dream a few months ago. I was watching a video of the three of us in another
I know.
realm, right? So it's happened.
You had the psychic dream about this before we even planned on it.
Yeah, but it was real. It was just it's in a different context. So I think when people have dreams, just dreams of stress, like their day, you can associate it with something going on, like the falling dreams, the falling dream. You're constantly falling, and maybe you don't feel like grounded in your life, or something just keeps going on and on and on, and it's just bringing you that stress blow. But the real dreams are you feel them. They're like visceral. Like I felt my father's skin. Like
Mm-hmm.
I touched it. It wasn't just a dream,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think people always ask me in my sessions, like, I dreamt of someone, so my brother came in and blah, 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 is that real? And who am I to say no? Like
Yeah.
I say, how did you feel in the dream? Was it just, oh, I missed the person or they're there?
Yeah.
Like, no, it felt so great. So if it feels good and you are getting healing from it, grab it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would probably add in too, and see if you guys can back me up on this, that usually when I have a visitation dream, I'm I wake up almost like you do in a nightmare, where it takes you just a split second to figure out what's going on, but of course it's not a nightmare. It's that I wake up with that same visceral feeling, and it just takes a second to ground yourself and realize, oh, that was a dream. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that, to me, is also one of the big indicators of a visitation dream, is if you kind of wake up with that overwhelming feeling still going on. To me, that's a true indicator of a visitation.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely.
Same.
Yep.
Same. Okay, Kate, you have to tell us about your dreams. I feel like a
So,
hog. Tell us about your
no. So this is a good way to wrap it up, because I don't have the same level of dreams that you guys do. I think my stuff tends to come in during conscious waking hours. But
Mhm.
I will say that I've had visitation dreams, which are awesome, probably the best. And then I've had a few psychic dreams, but nothing to the point like you guys have had. And
Mm.
then the only other one that really grabbed my attention was, I believe, whatever is in the, I don't know if it's higher self or guides or spirit team, I don't know who, but when I was coming through all this awakening, I had a very visceral dream of, um, kind of like you said, Leah, being outside watching yourself, and these people, whoever it was controlling my body, and they stood me up, and then they made me fall like the old high C plunge where you fall straight
Yeah.
backwards.
Mhm.
And I actually, in watching it, I fell through the floor of my house, and I was descending, and I had that moment of, I'm going to die. And I remember, as I'm panicking, I had the thought, you don't need to panic. You just need to believe in the peace of God, right? To love God.
Mm.
And as soon as I did that, everything released, and I had a knowing that I had passed some sort of test. I don't know what it
Wow.
was, but it was
Cool.
very cool. But you guys have a lot more deep, interesting, phenomenal dreams. We could
Mm.
probably talk about this for hours, Leah. I know you've had the dream within the dream within the dream,
Should we do a
and
part two on
I
dreams?
think we
I
need
think
to,
I could
because
keep going. I have
I
so many
need
more
to
things about
I
dreams.
need to hear about the manipulating dreams, because I don't know how to manipulate when I'm in a
Oh,
dream. And Rebecca, when you talk about, what was it, the psychic, you said you're on that podcast and you didn't really remember to talk about it.
Oh, like why we have certain dreams before they happen, especially the accidents,
Right.
and can you change it? Like we were asked. I
Yep,
mean,
the free
also like
will.
the other thing I'd love to talk about. I mean, we're trying to keep these not too long. That's why we're
Yeah.
gonna do maybe part two. But I mean, when I see some of my friends or different things in the astral realm or in the dream world, and then what they're doing in the real world, and how they're different, like. I had one supervisor during my STE that would just yell at me at the hospital where I was interning all the time. But in the dream world, I kept having this dream that I was standing behind her desk with my hands over her head, like healing her
Healing.
oh,
in the astral realm. But then in the human world, she just yelled at me, you know, and it's like, it was interesting. Anyway, lots more to talk about because I've had other things where I see kind of what's going on in the astral realm or the versus like what's actually
yeah,
happening.
that's the
There's
same.
like no judgment. That's basically what it
Yeah.
shows me is everyone's soul is beautiful and like it just looks different in the human world.
Yeah.
We
I
we
think, no, I just want to add to it. Like one thing is that when I was suppressing my gifts for a long time, I had more dreams. So I think it was because I was, what is this? I'm too, like I was kind of afraid. So they were still giving me things in my dreams.
That's interesting.
And I
Wow.
mm.
remember dreaming of somebody going to pass away. And I can't just go up to someone and say, oh, I met your father in a, blah, 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 blah. So I was like, oh, I had a dream about, your whatever. And they were like, what?
Wow.
So I was suppressing my own gifts, but they were
Still coming
enhancing
through.
my dreams, you know?
That is a really good
Really
point.
cool. And when I had a horrible time in life, I had an angel take me through a timeline of my lives. Like
See?
I got to see it. And I'd like to have, I'd like to tell people about that one because there's a real spiritual significance behind that for everybody. And so if we have a part two,
We
Let's do a
definitely
part
have
2,
to.
and I can share more details. You share more
Yes,
details about your
please.
all spiritual dreams because I've had some cool ones too. Maybe let's just do it next time.
Please.
Part 2.
Awesome.
Kate, thank you guys. Thank you,
Thank
Leah.
you. All right.
See you
thank
next
you.
time. Bye.
See you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.